Welcome to your medical and motivation account. This is your dashboard, and this is where you're taken every single time that you log in. So we're just going to jump right on in and head on over to before my appointment. So after all these years of dealing with the medical system, I've kind of gotten the sense that prepping for your appointment, making sure that you're ready for it in the best way possible, mind, body, and spirit, can really help get the most out of your appointment. So I really think that it can actually be just as important as going to your appointment. And in doing so and in prepping, you gain a lot of insight, you gain a lot of knowledge, and knowledge is power. And of course, with great power comes great responsibility. So I really encourage you to take a look at the before my appointment section so that you make sure that you understand what the basics are, what you're in for, what you can be doing to make sure that you have the support that you need to get the most out of it, and also that you have some goals, that you know what you want out of the appointment, so that's where the appointment can go, and making sure that you and your practitioner are on the same page. So in terms of those basics, there have been times where I personally have been called to schedule an appointment, and my practitioner's office will call me and they'll say, okay, your practitioner wants you to come on this date, at this time, at this place, and there you go. And so, of course, you always write that stuff down because you don't want to mess it up. But at the same time, I started thinking, I wonder what this is for, because I wasn't expecting this call. So I asked, and I said to the person on the other end of the phone, and I said, okay, I've put that all into my calendar, but can you tell me what it's for? And sometimes they'll know and they'll be able to say, oh, it's for a post-op appointment. And sometimes they won't know. And so when that does happen, if it does happen, please know that you're entitled to say, okay, it's okay that you don't know, but can you please talk to my practitioner, get a sense of what we're going to be doing, and then give me a call back so that I can prepare for it. This information is like pivotal to making sure that you can get the most out of your appointment, and you are beyond entitled to have that information. So I hope that you know that. Now, for pre-appointment instructions, it's really good just to get into the habit of asking the question, is there anything that I should be doing before the appointment, whether it's fasting or taking my medication or not taking my medication for the appointment. Sometimes you might be having surgery, and depending on that surgery, you might be able to take your daily medication or not. Just getting a sense of what you need to be doing and taking responsibility for before your appointment is really great. That way you don't get to your blood work the next day not knowing that you should have fasted, and of course the technician says, when was the last time you ate? And you say, I had this great breakfast this morning, you really should go there. And then the technician's like, well, great, now we can't do the blood work and we're going to have to reschedule. So don't let that happen to you. Try to ask a lot of questions so that you are getting the most information that you need, that you might think is common sense, but really helpful in the long run. Also, when you're going to an appointment, there's going to be certain pieces of ID, certain documents that you're going to need to bring. Sometimes it'll be a health card, sometimes it'll be a hospital card, or even an insurance card. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people come up to the clerk at their clinic and then get asked for their hospital card, and they forgot it. And so when you are on the phone with the person scheduling the appointment with you, please, please, please try to remember to ask, what should I be bringing? Should I be bringing that health card or that hospital card? And when you're told what to bring, just book it. Book it right to your wallet, put it in your wallet, and then you don't have to worry about it for the day of. And that just saves a lot of grief for both the hospital team and you. Now, for clothing to wear. No, I am not making a superficial point, though I will say there still needs to be a lot more fashion-forward hospital gowns, but that's beside the point. What I'm talking about in terms of what to wear for your appointment is having you recognize what implications your outfit might have on your appointment. Are you going for a brace fitting on your legs? And if you are, depending on how high the braces are, you might want to come wearing shorts or bring shorts, or maybe wear leggings so that fit is pretty close to what you're going to be dealing with. And so that is what I want you to be thinking about, just to make sure that you are allowing the appointment to run as smoothly as possible. And that just can really be hinging on your clothing. So I know it seems a little out there, but it really can help if you just have a little presence of mind and just wear what would make it easier going forward. Now, any appointment can not only have physical implications on your life, but also emotional and even spiritual in a sense. So if you're going into a long day of appointments, or it's one appointment that you're not really feeling really calm about maybe, think about what you could be bringing to make sure that there are some comforts from home, whether it's going to be the distraction of your favorite movie or your favorite book, or even listening to music. Please take it from me that if you're bringing any electronics whatsoever, do not forget your chargers. It could be devastating, which I know sounds really weird, but it is when you are expecting to have a long day of appointments and that device that was supposed to be distracting you is kaput. Now, moving on to what gives me hope about this appointment, I'm starting to try to get people to think about the implications of their appointment. What are they hoping for? Is this an appointment giving them hope about a new treatment option, or working with a practitioner that they've really wanted to work for, or is this some way going to give you that quality of life that you've been yearning for and that you deserve? So what gives you hope about this appointment? But at the same time, I'm gonna ask you to think about, what makes me nervous about this appointment? And the reason that I decided to have you kind of contemplate this is not because I'm trying to rain on your parade, or in this section make you think that everything's all rainbows and butterflies. But I think it's really important before your appointment to start to think about the good and the bad and the ugly, in terms of what can happen at the appointment. And when you've given all three of those some thought and some reflection, then you have the opportunity to almost plan for different things happening. And in that case, when you plan for if things go right, if things go wrong, you have the opportunity to have a little bit better bounce back if something in your appointment comes up that you weren't expecting, good or bad. I'm not saying that this is not going to make you not want to celebrate and then lose focus, or be devastated and then not know what to do next. But I just want you to be prepared, because we are resilient beings. We started off as resilient children, and I want to keep that resilience going throughout life. So thinking about what can happen and how you would want to deal with it if X, Y, or Z happens, then do it. It's really going to help you. It's going to help the support network around you figure out what they can help you with. And also, being able to think, okay, so this has happened. I thought that this might happen. Okay, so practitioner, what should we do next? Should we be doing this next or doing that next? And you don't lose out on the rest of the appointment if something changes in the middle of it. So that's what I'm asking you to do for the hope section, the nervous section, the best case scenario section, and the worst case scenario section. Now, moving on to what I want to accomplish in this appointment, it's really great to have almost like an agenda going into it, and not in a bad way, but just have a sense of, okay, this is my appointment. Why not dream big and think about what I really want out of it? And then when you do, you can start off the appointment and say, you know what? I just want to tell you, and you're talking to the practitioner, this is what I want to accomplish today. And this gives you a great opportunity to figure out whether you and your practitioner are on the same page. You might bring them something that you just think is, just too far-fetched. Like you think, they're never going to let this happen. And then they might say to you, oh yeah, that's easy. In fact, let's do it this way, which is even easier. And sometimes they'll be like, whoa, 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 I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, because that's really hard to do. Or they might even say, you're crazy. That's impossible to do. And so when you get these conversations going, first of all, you might be finding out things can be better than you thought. Sometimes you need to have that conversation and potentially come up with a compromise. And then sometimes you're going to meet a practitioner who doesn't share your vision. And at that point, just like in life, there are people that we mesh with and who we're meant to support each other in a certain way. And yet, in the healthcare system, people get scared at the idea that, this practitioner in my relationship is not working. Like, what do I do? Like, I'm too scared to change practitioners. And I just want to let you know that changing practitioners can be really difficult. You don't want your practitioner to take it personally, and you don't want to think that if you do, they're going to be malicious and tell other practitioners not to take you on. But it's really good to try to get to that place, and if you need that support around you, to get to that place where you know that you are entitled to build your dream team, and that dream team of health to get you where you need to go and where you want to go and where you think you were meant to be. So I hope that helps. And actually, one last section is the question section. And I'm just going to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to double dog dare you to, at least for the next few appointments, write down your questions that you have regarding that appointment. Because some people get into this situation where they're going into an appointment and it's obviously pretty close to the front of their mind. And then, of course, they have this brilliant thought or this, really good question that really reflects who they are and what works for them and what doesn't. And you're thinking, this is so obvious, I won't forget them. Well, I haven't done a lot of research on this, but I do have this little inkling that your brain does something sneaky when you're going into a really important appointment, and that is to erase every single smart thing you've ever thought or said in your life. So, based on that, I think that it'd be a really great habit to try to build, or at least just try it for the next few appointments, to write down every single question, whether you think you're going to forget it or not. First of all, you're writing it down so that if you do forget it, you can refer back to it during the appointment. But also, when you're writing it down, it's reinforcing it in your head and it's actually helping you to remember more. So, yes, that double dog dare is absolutely in effect. So, you know what? If it doesn't help, send me an email and double dog dare me to do something as well. And then finally, on the topic of questions, sometimes you're going to find yourself in a situation where you don't feel like you can be honest with your practitioner about some of the questions that really are significant in your life. And sometimes it can be because you're embarrassed, you don't want to look stupid, or sometimes it's a comfort level thing because you would feel more comfortable discussing one of these things with a practitioner who is the same gender as you. And so figuring out whether or not you feel comfortable discussing your questions with your practitioner is one really big step to think about. And then also thinking about what can be done either by you or by your healthcare team to try to create that environment that you do feel comfortable to be honest with your practitioner, because that's only ever going to help you at the end of the day. And you're the one who has to go home and live your life. So you want to know that you've given yourself the best shot because you're your own best advocate. So I hope that helps. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let us know. Here's our contact information. And as always, I wish you very good health.